Hello everyone, I'm back and we're doing part 2 of One Shot Wonder. I'm just going to do a code walkthrough for the stuff that I touched. And when I say code, I mean blueprints because it was a game jam, so we didn't really have time to set up all the systems properly. So I did the UI, and I also did the level editing, so I'll zoom out here and show you the level real quick. I just made a small quad, and the areas that I concentrated on were the center where you're going to play, so made it look pretty nice with the doodads and such. But I didn't want to go overboard because of how many balloons we were going to have in the scene. I didn't want to slow everything down with tons of cool looking terrain. That was the main thing that I did, and that's all not code. That's all using the terrain editor up here, which you can go and paint different stuff on. So I'll do one quickly. Oh, that was already what it was. Put some grass on this hill. Look, it's grass. Anyway, that's what I did. So that was that. But now the code part. So I had 3 main widgets. I was going to do some more high scores and a score widget, but I ended up squeezing everything into the HUD, which I don't normally do, but I didn't really want to make a whole interface with everything. So we're going to do the title screen first, obviously. So we have One Shot Wonder. So one of the things I wanted to do was tweak the color, and then we also have the start and goal texts. We have our shotgun image, which is our cursor, and that was just a sideways image of the actual shotgun 3D model that we ended up importing with its original textures. We ended up putting materials on it from, like, default materials from the starter content, because it just looked a bit better, shinier and stuff. And then we just have our Twitters, follow us. And so now the actual code. So in my event graph on, I don't know why that, if you click it too fast. Okay, so all I really wanted to do, and there's probably a better way to do this, but so I wanted to take this text, and when you'll notice when I play it, it's kind of glowing and changing colors. It's only just changing colors. So you can see how it's kind of oscillating between red and then blue and then an orange. And it keeps changing. So the code for that is this part. So on event tick, I'm going to get the game time in seconds, and I have 3 different sign expressions to go through. So but all of them are basically to oscillate between 0.25 and 0.75 for that color value. And then I just offset I offset them by these seconds that don't overlap very often. So this would be +0, 1.3, and 1.5. So they're only going to overlap every, like, this would be 6. So you need 3 of these to get to 4, and then you need to say when is 4 going to get into a multiple of 1.5, so probably going to be a while. I think the closest that I can think of is 60 and 15. Yeah. So basically every 15 seconds the colors will match up a bit, and it'll restart. So they're just plugged into the colors, and these are bound to, this is the color of title. So this is bound, this is me taking this thing here and setting, and then I split the struct pin, and I split that struct pin to put the colors in their respective points. And then when I set this variable, it is bound to the color here. So the color of title, that variable color variable changes this value here, and we get that oscillation. So that's that. Then we have our cursor. So we have because normally I would have a cursor state like an enum, but in this case I knew I only had two things, start and goal, so I made it a bool. But I could just easily have made it switching on an enum instead. So is my active cursor on start? If that's true, then I am on start. If it's false, I'm on that goal state. So I'll show you real quick. So if it's true, I'm on start. If I've pressed down, I toggle that bool, and now I'm on goal, so I'm not on start. So if that active cursor is on start, so this is just a function that when you are hitting enter on the level blueprint or the character blueprint, I can't remember who's doing it, but whoever hits enter to say I'm picking this thing, it calls this function. So when I do that, I'm going to play the shotgun sound, first person template weapon fire 2. I'm going to play that sound and return whether it was the goal or the title. If it was the title, I start the game. If it was over goal, then I go into the goal screen. Then I have on arrow up and on arrow down, and they're basically the same function, but one plays it in reverse. So I could have, after I realized, I could have just put on arrow and then check whether it's greater than, like use a bool here to play and convert that in some way to whether it's forward or backward. But anyway, what happened was I made an animation, shotgun moved down, and it plays that animation. And so when you hit on arrow down, it plays that animation forward. If you've hit on arrow up, it plays it in reverse. And whichever case it is, well, it's also looking to see if the active cursor is on start. So if I've hit up and it's not start, then I do this. Otherwise I do nothing, because I'm already on start, so I'm just going to not play an animation or do anything. But if I move it, then I toggle my active cursor. And that's about it for this graph. Sorry, I have a bit of allergies. Okay, so this one is very simple. It's mainly here, there's not even an animation. It was just a bunch of text, the image, and the back button, and then a couple text boxes to get everything looking right. And I don't even have any functions or anything on it. So if you hit enter here in the main level, so basically if you hit enter and you're on the goal screen, it just says, okay, make the active HUD the start screen that we just had open. So then the last one, this is the big one, is our HUD. And we have a lot of stuff on here that is all over the place, so I'll probably just go through it in pieces. So we have all the text up here. We have the balloon icon, how many balloons there are, clock icon, the current time, the crosshair. Then we've got a bunch of stuff that animates in later. So we've got the nice shot text that will pop in saying, hey, nice shot, or it says random things, but it says like, hey, Macarena, stuff like that. Current level complete. So these are just text boxes that we're going to have. They're in different positions, and they're going to show up under different conditions. I didn't want to just send in a string all the time and change it, because I knew which conditions they would be in. But I do have like the next level text that it changes based on what the next level is called. So that changes. Next goal text changes based on what your next goal is. So those change as well. Then behind here we have the first, second, and third star that pop up. They kind of pop up and animate, and the shadow for those. So I'll show you real quick. So when I complete a level, the stars bounce in at the bottom there, And then, but you get a little black shadow of where they're going to show up and land, so that it telegraphs to the player where the flat aiming part of that animation is. So they don't have to, so it looks like it pops in, lands there, and then slides out. So that was all, that's just there to assist the eyes and not get totally confused by the animation. So in my graph there's lots of stuff. So we have a variable for the time remaining, and we have a time remaining, and we're going to take that variable and we're going to round it down to negative infinity. So if it's at 99 seconds and 0.1 seconds has passed, it's going to display 98 seconds. So it doesn't, I wanted it to round completely flat. And we're not going to show any fractional digits. So this is a to text float node. It's pretty useful for formatting your text on UIs specifically. And then we plug that into, this is actually a linked function. So if I go to here, this function, the return value of that function is what is displayed here. So anytime essentially time remaining changes, the or this value, this return value changes, whenever that changes, then we change our seconds. Then we have an on shot message. So this is when you shot, you get a little message that pops up and then goes away, or I think it fades out. So I'll show you that animation on the designer. So this is on shot, is basically going to call this animation. It's going to say nice shot, and then it fades away. So on shot message is used in on shot here. So whenever, and I made it take in a string, so you can say any message you want from main. So you can have an array of random messages, which is what we ended up doing, and you plug that into the shot message, and then you play the animation. And then this shot message variable is linked up to that shot message text, which is this one's nice shot text. So its value is linked, bound to on shot message. Okay, then we have balloons remaining text. So this is that text up here. So if I click here, it's linked to balloons remaining text. And whenever a balloon is hit in the main function, you call this one here, on balloon hit. It's going to count the balloons and reformat that text to say exactly how many balloons are there. I could have saved a step on in here, but it's probably not worth saving by having two text blocks, one that just has the X and one that has the number, and then I just plug the length straight into that with the conversion. But it's still got to convert anyway, so it probably wouldn't save any time. Okay, so that was the balloon remaining text. The current level name is the current level name. So that goes in the upper left. So I'll go back here. This is the current level name, and it's bound to that variable. Whenever you're going to start a next level, you take in a struct of what the next level info is, and we're just going to take out the parts we need. So we set oh, this has to go here. That needed to be fixed. I don't know if the UI uses it. But basically, because I'm only using parts of the struct, and I'm storing the current level stuff in here for a later function call, but basically I get the next level info name and I put it in the current level info. And then we have gold balloons is set by the number of gold balloons. So this is used to make this blank filled in with a number. And then we have total wheels, or those are just going in here. And I basically, so once I've set these, those are bound to those values I said, and then the goal balloons, just like that other formatted string for the in the upper right, the times 99. This reformats the string for the goal text and changes it, and then we play this animation, which is the next level start animation. So I'll go here and play it for you. It'll play to the end, and I'm going to play it again. Okay, so it'll say next level, level name, and that level name slides up. Next goal, goal name, and that slides up. So this took a while to animate, but then we have game over message. So this is when you run out of time. So I forget where I checked that. Well, you can always find references here, and then it tells you where you've used it. So on game over, makes sense. So on game over, the game over message updates, and it'll play the game over animation, which just fades in the text that is game over, and then makes it red. So it fades out. It quickly fades out the crosshair too, so you can see it. The text without the crosshair overlapping. So that's game over text, and then we have a run timer, which I don't know what that means. This is I don't remember making this, but I guess I did. This is event graph for the HUD. Oh, I have to go through all these too. Yeah. So the clock ticked down. Time remaining, we subtract our delta time. And if that is less than, and the time remaining, because of that, yeah, that's what it's finishing off this part, the time remaining here. So we set this variable every tick and subtract the delta time from our last frame, and then if that is less than 0, we tell the game mode that we're out of time. So the game mode can do anything that it needs to do when the game's over, which was nothing in our case, but then the game mode says, okay, I've done all my game over stuff. You can now call on game over, which played that animation for us. So I'm pretty sure we didn't do anything on game over. Oh, actually, I think Pavan set it up so that it resets and goes back. So that's good. And we have a whole bunch of notifications. And let's just say most of them are interesting. Okay, it's just my calendar's going off. 10 minutes till 11:30. As you can see down here. Okay, so that's the game over, and then we have our current level, which is a struct that we use for a couple things. So when we're starting a next level, we use some of the information, and then once we've began the level, we also need that information. So that's why I stored it, so the onBegin level can do stuff as well. So onStart next level plays the next level start animation, which I think I played for you. Right. We also had the level complete success animation. So they're basically called back to back, but you have to wait for this animation to finish before you call the other one. So this is, you shot and you got enough balloons, the main level is going to call it and tell you to do this one. So it looks a bit better when you're not highlighting the thing that's moving, because it was all illusions. Then we go back to on begin level now, it's going to do different things. So all on begin level does is set the current level time to, like, it resets the time remaining. And if you could see because you don't want the timer to be running while all those animations are playing to start up the next level, we want the timer to start after they've seen all that and the balloons have spawned, then the timer starts. So this is supposed to get called after the balloons spawn, and it was not doing that. So it was being done at one point, but somebody unlinked it at some point from the game mode. And then I guess I went through all of these variables and what they do, and then I've got all these functions, which I believe I went through. This is when you shoot something. This is when you've completed the level. It's going to play the level end sound, which is why I don't have my sound on for copyright reasons. And on start next level, and on game over, on balloon hit, and on begin level. So all those functions are callable from the game mode, who has a reference to my HUD. And the last thing I didn't go through was my event graph, so I did this section. Now we're going to do some things. So this is spaghetti and not the way I like to do it, but I was only doing it for 2 animations at first, and then we were going to do it for these 3, but actually you'll see it's not even linked up, so this doesn't even get run. So you can ignore that, and just these are the 2 that matter. This is why I spaghettied it. So there's only one method that I know of in your UMG that tells you when an animation has finished playing, and when those animations finish playing, I need to tell things stuff. So basically I take this animation, is it the level complete success animation? Okay, then I get my game mode and tell it that my on level complete animation was complete. And then it does some stuff like respawns the level and gives me, and then it's gonna tell me what the next level is, because the HUD doesn't know, it doesn't care. So it's gonna call the on start next level. So basically you need this animation to finish, and then the game mode is gonna say, okay, you're done, okay, now I'm gonna call on start next level and give you a new level. Well, we also need to tell it when to start the timer, or when we're done the next animation, so that it can tell us when to start the timer with how much time there is. So we had to tell, or actually I didn't need to tell the game mode, I need to tell myself when it's done, so that I can reset the timer at the exact right time, which is what on begin level does. And I should probably rename this to on timer start to make it more readable. But you can do a whole bunch of stuff when that timer starts. So this is a decent name for expandability. But when that next level start animation is done, we're going to call on begin level. And then we have another section here where this is the 3 stars. And it looks like somebody redid it all backwards. I'm not sure why. So it puts the stars up. This was my original one, so I'm gonna break it, or break this, and see how much I break the level. Or wait, what did he do? Oh, he changed it from, I had 3 bools, so you could choose which stars you want to show, and he changed it to whether there's 3 stars, 2 stars, or 0 stars. Okay, so I see what he did. So this wasn't mine. This was my original one. So he just got these backwards. So this goes over here, and this goes over here. You want to achieve them in order, not... Yeah. So if there were 3 stars, you play this. If there were 2 stars, you start at the second one. Yeah, this doesn't quite work the way I wanted it to. But anyway, basically we have star 1, star 2, and star 3 animations. So if I've achieved 1 star, I'm going to play this animation. Okay, if I've achieved 2 stars, I'm going to play this one. And 3 stars, we're going to play this one. So I needed a function up here that if I've got 3 stars, I'm going to play... Yeah, he basically... Okay, I see what he was trying to do. He wanted to give me a number. I told him to just give me 3 bools, and it's all good. He changed his mind and made me take a number. Anyway, so my original implementation was I had 3 bools, and you just plug it in to each of these ifs. And then you would play the animation, wait a second, or wait a fraction of a second, play the second star animation, and wait a second and play the third star animation. So that's because each of those animations has that delay. So when you're playing all 3, it should go whoom, 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 and then they're all there at the same time, and then they all disappear. Because this third star takes less time to do the full animation. The 1 star waits at the height. This first star waits at the height for 0.8 seconds before falling, and the second one waits for 0.4 seconds before falling, and that one doesn't even wait at all before falling. So, but it still kind of looked cool. He didn't want to touch my animations, obviously. So let's see what switching those around did to that animation. Yeah, so that's basically what I wanted it to do. You get 1, 2, 3 stars like that. But I don't know how it's going to look when there's only 2 stars. So I've got to try to kill exactly 15 balloons. So I don't quite yet. So it looks like I got 0 stars there. Sometimes the balloons escape. I got 21. Anyway, that's my code walkthrough. That's what I did. I also hooked up the initial way that they've been changed. But I hooked up the initial way the game mode went through everything. So anyway, I thought you might enjoy a code walkthrough of a game jam, and especially for those who are looking for how to do stuff on UMG, this might be pretty useful. So some basic stuff. So thanks for watching, and I'll catch you later.